We are here live, folks. What's going on? Hello, this is Courtney, Rollins, and Javon in this bad boy for another Life and Transitions Experts podcast. Today, on Mondays, this is where we break down we just look at our skills, at our sales and negotiating skills so that we can get better at showing the value that we're bringing so that we can be a part of people's lives and help them with whatever their journey is when it comes to properties, inherited properties, probate, senior transition. Those issues or challenges that people are facing, our job is to help them see what possible solutions there are. And the way we do that is by being as well. We do the Triple H approach. I'm not talking about Hearst Hemsley. I'm talking about use our hearts, use our heads, and use our hands to get things going. But Javon, man, how's you and the lady over there they're doing over there?
Everything is great. I mean, we're always grateful to this perfect omniverse giving us this wonderful day and another opportunity to chase the dreams that we only could see.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love the energy, man. So let me go. I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen to show what we are talking about today. We're not gonna role play today, my brother. I know we're gonna just go over this using Canva. I wish I had an affiliation with Canva because they're awesome and I'd be preaching their good works all the time. So would you buy this land? Spoiler alert, yep. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So at Estate Pro Service, we really offer a concierge type of service where when you think about probate or even selling property or transitioning seniors, there are a lot of moving parts. And we like to deal with or help people deal with what we call the non-legal issues, the property, the house, and so many things in between there, as far as helping with clean out or helping with actually moving or helping actually sell the personal items are left or connecting with the right financial advisor or family law attorney. At Estate Pro Service, we try to be the hub to have a holistic approach to the probate process. Just real quick, 4 things, and really, John, this is really good for us to think about because when we know we bring value, it's just a different tone in the conversation. I've been doing a lot of wedding venue interviews or interviewing wedding venues with my fiance, and I'm always picking up on like the sales skills, and the ones who seem like they have to do the best selling are the ones who are very matter of fact with me. They're very connected and they're very sociable, but they're not trying to beg me or sell me. And I believe it's because all those venues that I've noticed that the people who were very matter of fact, they had a great product. They knew they had value. So it wasn't like they had to really sell anything. They knew their product was selling. They let them have a little bit of ease that let them not be as and don't chase the dog. And that's the same thing with us. We know we bring value. We know probate can be challenging, painful, long, and confusing. So helping personal representative navigate it efficiently, that in itself is a great thing for us to think about, Javon, when we're working with our leads. Also, helping them find the right attorney. I'm not a financial advisor or an attorney, and not offering legal advice as well. Just sharing experience. Neither is Javon, but being able to know and see so many cases and know what next steps are probable will help you find the right attorney and also spend less time with the attorney because you'll have done all the administrative stuff or have that set up and it won't be as costly to you. So those are awesome 3 reasons right there. And then the 4th reason is because we do provide solutions. Oh, wow. I messed up my typing right there. I must have been stepped on the thing, but we provide solutions to your properties and to your property selling issues. So would you buy this land? So Javon, real quick, here's a couple things I want to think about because you're seeing a lot of land deals you should be coming across, right?
Yeah, whole lot.
What are on land? What are some of the things that you encourage folks to think about as the I guess we're buyers, as the buyer coming in when you're talking to?
You mean as far as me being the buyer?
Yeah, you're the buyer. What are some things that you like when you find out? Well, how do you even find out there is land? Because so often we're calling and we're talking about probate, or we may transition over to property. How do you know? How do you find out if there's land if you don't know that the the call you're calling is land?
I mean, usually I'm told. I mean, because I don't every call that I actually do, I don't kind of go in with the mindset that there's a house there. I just the property.
Property,
Then
gotcha.
they'll sit there and say, "Oh, well, it's a 3-bedroom home or whatever the case may be," or "Hey,
Awesome.
that's just land there. It's just land there." And I mean,
Awesome.
we kind of go from there.
So not making any assumptions. And shout out to Brent Daniels, TTP Talk to People, making sure we ask, hey, do you have any? Because some people, they think about houses. No, I don't have any houses, but they forget about the land that they had inherited for 10 years and sitting over there in Dumble County, you know? So literally not assuming that everything you call is just traditional property, but also specifically asking, do you have any, any other property or maybe land? Is a great question to ask. And I've actually heard on your recordings you say that a lot. And that's something we do as well. So make sure you ask folks if they have any land, especially if they say no, they don't to the property. But always ask, oh, do you have any other land for you? So one thing that we're thinking about is asking our sellers, what do you think is the best use for this land? You know, what do you think it's used for? We need to know that information. We're thinking about it from the lens of our end buyer, our investor. So asking about what's the best use of the land, that'll also get you some great information from the seller. Another thing, Devon, I want you to be asking about, or if you haven't already, these are things we always, you had to ask for when we talk to folks. But what's the zoning? Are there any restrictions? What does the zoning allow me to do? You know, is it already zoned for residential? If it's not, we'll have to go and petition and all that stuff, which will factor in time and cost, which has to factor into our acquisition or purchase price. Does it have water and does it have sewer? And if so, what type of water and so what type of sewer? So those are just important questions to ask. It hasn't been perk tests, those type of things. Now, one thing we don't want to do though is we never want to talk over the heads of our sellers. We're not trying to convince our sellers that we're competent by throwing out buzzwords or talking over their heads. That doesn't, I mean, just imagine we put ourselves in, that doesn't feel good. And, but you're asking these questions, you want to ask it in a matter of fact way, but you want to ask it in a way that's not, too confusing. And so one way to do that is if you find yourself just asking question after question after question, pull back, build some rapport, change the conversation to something else, or have a different flow or tonality or even pace or even volume, when you're talking to folks. So it's not all I'm interrogating this bad boy about this thing and it becomes, a confrontational or relationship almost based on how you're setting it up. And asking them, what do you think the assessed value is? And do you know what the value of properties that are newly built are? The after repair value, the ARV. You don't have to use after repair value, ARV. Those are buzzwords. But you can ask, do you know what the tax value is of the property? And do you know what houses are selling for? If I put a house on there, do you know what houses are selling for? Just seeing what the seller knows. And these are questions we need to know so that we can, start giving it value ourselves. And one good thing to know, folks, if you're out there, and especially if you talk to us, we are here to help and we're here to make a profit. It's so great how those things match up. And to be able to make a profit on land, when we look at the after repair value of the new builds around us, we have to get it at about 10 to 20% of that. Because our buyers, the folks that we're working with, they want it at 10 to 20%. So if I don't get it at 10 to 20%, I don't leave any space for me or to make a profit, and I can't continue to add value. So for instance, down there, oh, that's driving me crazy. Let's have the 40K. So Javon, you're looking up, you're typing in, you look up the comparable after repair value of houses that are there, and you see 400,000. That's pretty confident. Well, we need to purchase land at about 40,000 to 80,000, not 40 to 80,000. That's a big range, $40 to 80,000. No, but it's 40,000 to 80,000. And so folks need to come to have that consideration, which it may be way more than you expected and you awesome, or maybe less. What I found in land, people either cling to it, love it, or have no ties, no care at all about it for land. It's not the same as like property where it's all, quite often emotional and involved. Devon, what questions do you have when it comes to like when you've come across people who have land or anything you want to ask me or even thoughts you want to share with folks to help us serve folks more in land?
Honestly, what I've realized, with talking to people in regards to land or a house, they like when you get kind of personal with them. They enjoy that. They kind of cling to that. Like I have a few people who actually sit there and say like, "Oh, I'm not ready to sell yet, but when I am, I'll be giving you a call because I make them feel comfortable. I make them feel as if I'm right in front of you and I've known you and you've known me for my entire life.
That's
I honestly sometimes I have personal conversations. And I mean, it's not like giving them my personal information and things of that nature, but I sometimes I go off board of
yeah,
this property to relate to something that you're going through, and
right,
then maybe we'll get back to the property. I mean,
right.
I just like to make people feel as comfortable as possible for them to sit there and say, "Hey, these guys are so cool." Like not I want to sell to them, I have to because
Right.
they're so cool.
That's really cool as you say that too, Javon, because again, Javon's not trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to convince anyone to sell their stuff to me. These folks we're working with already know they want to sell. Now the only question is who they're going to sell the property
Right.
to. And they're going to sell to people that they know, like, and trust. And if you can be likable, not in a fake way, not in a BS meter way, but you really sincerely have a big heart and can be likable, you're going to go a long way in really any industry, but especially in this space. So thank you, man. Javon, literally, we just had that happen today. Miss LaDonna, I can say her first name. I don't think people know. She called back. The one we bought the mobile home from about a month ago.
Okay.
Called back. Hey, you know what? I actually do want to sell the land. And the first thing I go into is like, well, why do you want to sell? I thought you didn't want to sell it. Well, how can we figure it out to keep this? And I was legit wanting to see what strategy we can do to see if she can keep the land. But she found out, and she went and shared some even more personal information I won't share up here about the reasons why she needs to sell, wants to sell. And now I got a contract over to her. Let me see. Did I get it back yet? Doesn't look like we have it back yet, but hopefully it's coming back. So stuff just like you said, as Javon said, people coming back to you wanting to feel like they have to sell to you if they're going to sell because of the relationship you built. So folks, that can't be underscored enough. Well, my brother, I know that beautiful young lady got a date. So are they on summer? I know you homeschool, but are they on summer school level? Or are they 12?
No, right now honestly they're chilling for the summer.
Okay.
We're planning on starting probably next week, getting them back, starting to read, starting to do a little bit more learning.
Oh, nice.
Kind of gradually bringing them into it, simply because as we're about to be over in Raleigh in September. We're moving
That's
over
a
in
blessing, dog. You named it. You called this relationship we have. You called that a couple years ago, bro. That's wow.
I told you how.
You got to be down in Raleigh.
I got a tarot card reading.
Oh man. Well, that's beautiful, man. Let's keep on making this world whatever we want to make it and increasing the good, brother. Let's keep letting our light shine, man. Life and transition experts. Let your light shine. All right, my brother. Peace. That was a good one.